Malone pulled up his car in the Erskineville street where he'd been born, got out, and waited for the memories to flood back. He'd been doing this for the past 6 months, but now the memories were only a trickle. Drought, the bane of farmers and sentimentalists, had set in. One side of the street had lost its row of workmen's cottages. They'd been replaced by a row of townhouses, or, as the estate agents now called them, villas. On the side where Malone stood, his side, the terrace houses had been gentrified. All had been painted, pale cream but with different coloured doors. Red, yellow, blue, green, all with ornate knockers, like suddenly proclaimed coats of arms. Some of the narrow verandas that opened right onto the pavement had planter boxes behind their painted iron railings. All of them had security grills on the windows, some had security doors. Only on the very end of the terrace was the rebel, the memory anchor. Painted cream like the others, yes, but the door was brown, the plain knocker was black. There was no security grill. A youth had broken into the house a couple of years ago, and Con Malone had met him with one of Malone's old cricket bats and beaten him senseless. The kid had wanted to charge Con with assault, and the 2 young cops who'd been called by Bridget Malone had had to hold Con back from assaulting him further. Con Malone was sitting on a kitchen chair on the veranda, soaking up the hour's sun that the front of the house managed. He was reading the morning's newspaper, a ritual that took him from the front pages, through the obituaries, to the sports pages, read in sequence like a book. Malone paused a few steps from the front gate and looked at his father. The old man, like the memories, was fading. The tree-trunk body was thinner and smaller. There was now a hunch to the once straight back. He suddenly felt an immense affection for his father. Con looked up as Malone stepped in the front gate. "G'day." "G'day. You still reading the Herald?" "Nothing but bloody opinionated columnists." The Daily Worker was all opinion. It was an honest paper, knew what was going on. He folded the paper carefully. If he'd believed in butlers and could have afforded one, he would have had the butler iron the paper before bringing it to him. He read that British aristocrats did that, the only thing he admired them for. Bloody country's going to the dogs. The bloody world, which didn't really interest Con, was going to the dogs. The IRA had just attacked Heathrow Airport in London. Bosnia was trying to go back to pre-1914. In the US, the Whitewater scandal was overflowing its banks. At home, things were slightly better.